Okay, today in Vectorworks, we're learning how to do two-dimensional drawings. And your assignment for next week is to download Vectorworks 1 and 2 file, and in the box, draw a picture of whatever you want. Okay, I'm going to show you a selection of tools. Huh?
1 and 2?
Vectorworks 1 and 2. Print them out. Print them out and bring them. Okay? That's partially to make sure that you guys can print things. I know there were some problems with printing before, so. Okay. You can see all the tools behind me. I'm going to close all the boxes. You probably will have palettes open, but if not, I'm going to show you in case they're not open how you get them. So window, palette, basic is the one we're going to be using today. We're going to be using a bunch of these. And the idea of this assignment is to get you familiar with Vectorworks. This is not about, can you be the next Manet with the tools I'm going to show you. Okay? First tool is the line tool. Looks like this. If you mouse over it and hold, it says line. The quick key for it is 2. Okay? Draw a line. We have several modes up here. We're in unconstrained line. That's probably the easiest one to work in. Click one point, move your mouse. Oh, look, I've got a line. And click an ending point. And when you click, boom, you have a line. And now it's there. And I can draw another line. And I can draw another line. And I can draw lines all day. And you could draw a whole picture with a line. Okay. Line from center mode. I only use this when I'm showing students how it works. I don't know why I would ever use this, but in case you want to, your first click creates the center of the line, and then as you move out, it does a line to the other end and then makes a line that's equal length, and you can spin it wherever you want. Woohoo, 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 click. Okay? Constrained line tool. We'll draw a line at 0 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, and basically around the circle. So I can't draw any angle I want, but frequently designers want to draw at a specific angle, and that allows you to do so. Okay? I know so far this doesn't look like anything, and that's okay. I'm going to erase all of this. I'm going to use my marquee tool, and then hit delete. Bye-bye. Okay, so that's my line. Double lines are not actually very useful in drafting, but if you want to use one, notice this draws 2 lines, and I'm going to show you the modes here. The first thing I want to show you is the separation. This says separation of a 1/2 inch. I want to make it separation of a 1/4 inch. Okay, now I've got lines that are closer together. Okay, so you can set that. Okay, this mode means I am drawing along the top line. This mode means it's going to draw the lines on either side of the line I'm actually drawing. This is going to draw the bottom line. And then this last one is going to be this kind of weird thing. And it's going to draw somewhere on the outside. And how I set that is I click on the pencil and wrench. And it says separation, 1/4 inch, so I can change how far apart they are. I'll change it back to a 1/2 inch. I don't know why. And I'm going to say my control offset, I want my control offset to be 1/8 of an inch. Okay, create lines. Okay, and that adjusts things. Okay, anytime you see the pencil and the wrench, click on it. It will allow you to set things inside of it for the tool. I can also do constrained lines where I can only draw up and down and side to side. Okay. Again, double lines are not particularly useful for drafting scenery, so they're another tool that I show in class and then never show again. Okay, now the tools I use a lot. The square or rectangle tool. 4 modes. Again, your modes are up here in the corner. Mine always default to the mode. I use them in most, but yours may default to other modes because I've set my Vectorworks. Regular rectangle mode, you click one corner, you click the other. Woohoo. Now, one of the things I want you to notice is that my rectangles are solid and the more recent one is on top. Okay. While we're in this, I'm going to quickly show you, in case you're drawing something and you need to change that, you need this one to be on the bottom. With it selected, I go to Modify, Send, and I can send backwards. That moves it under one item, or I can modify, send to the back, and that's going to put it under everything. Okay. And by the way, I can grab it with my select tool, and I can move it around because I want this one over here, and I want this one over here, and I want this one over here, and oh look, it's art. Okay. Back to my rectangle tool. So I can also draw from the center to the outside corner. This I actually do frequently on stage because if I know where I want the center of something to be, and then I can figure out exactly what shape I want it to be by drawing out from the center. Center of one side to the corner of the other. I imagine this would actually be very useful when you're designing moving scenery. I have never personally needed it, but it actually kind of makes sense to me that I'd want to do that. And the last one is the rotated rectangle tool. This one takes 3 clicks. You know that because there's 3 little red dots. So you first draw the bottom, and then you draw the side, and now you can get it at an angle. Okay. Let's say that I had this drawn perfectly, and then I realized that, oh my gosh, it's at the wrong angle. I can adjust that by using my rotate tool. And my rotate tool works like this. My first click wherever point I want to rotate about, and then my second click creates a line, and now I can rotate it around that point wherever I want to go. Okay, I see that. There's a separate mode with our rotate tool as well. This is the rotate tool that's called rotate and duplicate. So I want this, but I want another one the same size just next to it. And so notice now instead of just rotating, I'm creating another one every time I rotate. Okay. And now that I have 4 million boxes that I don't need, we're going to erase them. One thing I should warn you for your homework assignment, it will tell you in the file where to draw and on what class and layer to draw. Make sure you draw on that class and layer. We showed you how to do that a while ago. And make sure that you draw inside the box because your printing is all set up. Okay. Rounded rectangle tool. This is basically, the tools work exactly the same. What? Okay, so this ended up drawing what looks like an ellipse, and I'm like going, why? Let me go into the box here, and it says, oh, my corners are going to be 1 foot. We're working a really small scale here, so I'm going to set that to 1 inch. Okay, and now, look, I get a rectangle with rounded off corners. Okay, or I can get a rectangle on an angle with rounded off corners. And you set your corner size in your toolbox. And if you... Huh?
The pencil and wrench is to where you...
Yeah, pencil and wrench. Pencil and wrench is always going to set the rules of the tool. Okay? And there are lots of things inside them. I'm not always going to show them to you, but feel free to click on them and experiment with them. And those of you that have Vectorworks 2015, there are new tools. The great thing about Vectorworks is if you have a basic understanding of how something works, everything kind of works the same way. So kind of play with the stuff. That's part of the point of this assignment is that you play with it and you start to see how Vectorworks thinks. Okay, next tool is our circle tool. Circle tool has a whole bunch of properties. The one I like to use most is center and edge. Center and edge. Okay, you can also do diameters if those make more sense to you. Diameter. Okay. By the way, with these you can draw at an drawing a circle at an angle doesn't really make a difference because it's a circle. Okay. You can do a 3-point circle. This is really great if you have to get a circle that fits within something. So I can say I need a circle that fits within here. It's here to here to here. Okay. A circle that is made up of the 3 points I've selected. Okay. And again, you can say, I don't know why I would need that, but actually I frequently need that. Okay. The circle by 3 points, or circle from 3 lines. Oh, I have to have line select to do that. Never mind, we're not doing that one today. So I'm not going to go back and draw lines. Circle from point and center. The only difference is that your point comes first and then your center. And circle by tangent, you draw a line and then draw a circle. Okay? Let's shut the door here. Again, all these different methods can be useful depending on what you're drawing. And you can say, oh yeah, I don't really need that now. Well, then you don't need it right now. I'm going to set that back. Vectorworks remembers the last state it was in. So if there's one of these you really like, make sure that tool is selected when you go away from it, so that it will be selected the next time you need it. Okay, let me get rid of all this stuff. Bye-bye circles. Ellipse tool. So an ellipse is a squishy circle. Okay. The main tool is the oval in a box. So you draw a rectangle and it puts the ellipse inside of it. Okay. The other one is draw the oval's width, draw the oval's height, and there you go. And then, of course, as you're doing your art project, you can just grab stuff and move it around as you need to. Bye-bye oval. Okay. Okay, next up we have to discuss two tools, one that is wonderful and one that is evil. I understand in Vectorworks 2015 that the polyline tool is not nearly as evil as it is in previous versions of Vectorworks. The polyline tool is evil. I am not going to show you how it works because don't use it. Do not use the polyline tool. If you draw your whole set with polylines, it will not go into three dimensions properly, and you are going to have to redraw it. Yes.
You had a student do that.
I had a student do that. In fact, the student who painted the Nocturno signs, Nikki Lack, who was a great designer, did her whole set in polylines, and then when she went to take it into 3D, her set didn't work. And she was very upset, and she had to start over. Don't do that. The polygon tool is a saint. It is virtuous. It is wonderful. We like the polygon tool. So here's how the polygon tool works. It lets you draw a polygon. A polygon is a closed shape. So you draw lines, and you draw lines, you draw lines, you draw lines, you draw lines, you draw lines. And then you need to get back really close to where you started and double click. Whoops. Okay. Single click. And it will close the polygon. And this is now a closed polygon. Okay, very, very important. This will go into 3 dimensions nicely. Polylines do not go into 3 dimensions nicely. Okay, you do want to make sure you close it though, because this does not have a line going across the end. It is not properly closed. This will go into 3 dimensions better than our polyline will, but not great. Okay, so make sure when you're using the polygon tool, you close it. Okay. Notice that the polygon tool has a little arrow next to it in the right-hand corner. That means there's a separate tool underneath. If you actually just need a triangle, you can draw a triangle. And triangles, I want you to set things. Sure. Okay. I always just draw a polygon as my triangle. But you have to give triangles lots of other information. If I want a triangle, I personally just draw this one. 2D polygon. And that's how I draw a triangle. Okay? It's a lot easier, I find. But there is a triangle tool there for those of you that want to draw triangles with the triangle tool. Okay. The next is the double line polygon. Yeah, I don't know why. You don't need it. There are better ways to do that. Okay. And again, some of these tools are excellent 2D tools. I'm trying to show you the tools, get you familiar with those that will be good when you have to draw in 3 dimensions next week or in 2 weeks. Okay. Next up is our regular polygon tool. A regular polygon is a polygon, so a square is a regular polygon, where all the sides are the same length. Okay. This I find to be an incredibly useful tool. It has 3 modes. One of the things you do have to do is tell it how many sides does your polygon have. Someone give me a number. What'd you say? 5. Okay, we're not giving 6. 6 is what's already set to. Okay. 5. Okay. So in the first mode, I go to the center and I go to a corner point. And it's going to draw me a 5-sided regular polygon. And I can click it wherever I want. Okay. The second mode goes from the center of the polygon to the center of a side. And our last one is you draw a specific side. And there you have it. Now, one of the things I want to show you that we can do, and you can do this on drawing almost everything. Go back to my regular polygon. I'm going to start to draw, and notice it's giving me a length and an angle. Okay, that little rectangle. Length 2.376 inches at a 1.51 degree angle. If I happen to know what dimension I would like that to be, because say I'm drawing something that's going to be a flat and I know it's going to be 4 feet wide. If I hit the tab key, I can now type in here. I can type, well, 4 feet is going to be really big on this drawing. I'm going to type 4 inches. Vectorworks is going to assume inches if you don't tell it. And I would like it to be at a 32 degree angle. And now I have just set that. And I can keep hitting tab. It's going to give me more and more parameters. Now it's giving me delta x. Delta, which is what we call the triangle, means change in. Okay, and change in x, our x-axis, change in the y-axis. Actual x dimensions, which are the, this is our scale on the side. So I'm doing the actual dimensions there, x, y, and then I'll eventually run out of things. But no, don't save this. You guys should save on a regular basis, by the way. But this will allow me, and I can do this with a line, drawing a line. I would like the line to be 7.2. Actually, I want it to be 7 1/8 inches, 6 1/8 inches at a negative 62.25 degrees. And it will draw that. Okay? This is really, really useful when you're starting to design scenery, especially if you're designing someplace on a budget and you know that you have to cut everything out of a piece of 4x8 plywood. You want to make sure you don't build anything that's bigger than 4x8. The trees for the upstage trees in the Still Life with Iris, I thought I had drawn that they would fit out of one sheet of 4x8 plywood. And Jeff said that no, they were 1 inch too big. I somehow screwed up when I was drawing. And he asked if I would mind shrinking it by 1 inch. And I said, no, that was the idea, and I just screwed up. But that allows me to draw things in a way that I know that we can cut it out of the available materials. Okay? On your project, you're not as obsessed with that, but if you need it, you can do that. Okay, same thing with our circle. I can draw a circle and say I would like it to be 5 inches across, and there it is. Make sense? So your assignment, and I'm going to actually do an assignment for you really quickly, is to draw a picture. The picture can be whatever you want it to be, okay? I think I am going to draw an ice cream cone. Oops, that's not going to quite work. Okay, that's my ice cream cone part, but my ice cream is too big, so I need to make a smaller ice cream. I'm going to do that as an ellipse. I have kind of a melty ice cream cone.
Okay. Here we go.
Actually, okay. Okay, now the only problem with my drawing at this point is everything's in the wrong order. So this needs to be on top. Send to front. And this needs to be on the back. Send to back. Okay. So I've got kind of my melty ice cream and then my my better scoop on top. And you know what else this needs? This is an ice cream cone. So it needs the little lines that say ice cream cone. wafers. Okay? That is about as complicated as your drawing has to be. Please use a couple of the tools. Okay? In other words, I just gave you an assignment that you could do in less than a minute. Oh, you want a cherry on top? Okie dokie. I'm going to zoom in here so I can do a little teeny tiny cherry on top. Okay, and in fact, what I can do is I can even give my cherry a stem.
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay? Okay? Use a couple of your tools. Use your ability to send things forward and backwards and create something. Okay? I will tell you, if this is all you do, you will get probably 4 out of the 5 points. Okay? I have had people who have done incredibly... Someone did the Doctor Who's TARDIS. That was awesome. I had someone do this incredibly thing that looked like it was 3-dimensional, and I said, how'd you do that? They said, oh, no, it's just the tools I showed them. They did a 3D picture in 2D. Whatever. This basic thing will get you 4 out of 5 points. Okay? If you do something that I go, wow, that's artistically great, and you use the tools, that's 5 points. Okay? If you draw a rectangle and a circle on a page, you'll get 2 points, but really try to draw a picture. The idea is for you guys, I'm going to be upfront. Why this is the assignment is so that you guys play with, explore, get in touch with Vectorworks. We're going to be going fast and furious for the last 9 weeks. Okay? If you've thought about your design, your designing stuff is 85% done. Really, your concept work is the hard bit of design. Now it's just doing it, okay? And learning to deal with the software, okay? So please spend some time. I recommend you spend at least an hour playing with Vectorworks. And yeah, if you want to come to the Idea Lab today, I'm going to be there, okay? And then once you've got this done, all you have to do to print it out is File, Print, and your file, assuming you do this on the Vectorworks 1 and 2 file from Blackboard, is all set up to print. Assuming you're on a computer connected to a printer, it's all set up to print to the default printer. Okay? Make sense? If you're going to be a rebel and not use the file I set up for you, then you got to figure out how to print on your own. Neener, neener, neener. Okay? Questions? Okay? Everyone said straightforward last time, and then they were so confused. Okay? Questions? Okay. I'm going to stop recording. Was that a question?
Okay, on Vector, I'm trying to print out the state, but I don't know how to keep it consistent, like print at the same size. Like keep too much overlapping.
If you're getting too much, if you can't figure out what the overlap is, type something on the screen in each position, and then that'll help you do your lineup. Okay? Sure. Okay. Now this file unfortunately doesn't have layers and classes, but window, palettes, navigation, and here are my layers and classes. So this is what a file comes with none and dimension. That's your base file. If you're in Vectorworks 2015, you have 2 more default classes, I think. And your layers, you have design layer 1. Okay? And then if you want to add more, you double click on it and you can new. And that video should be up on my YouTube channel, so you can look at it. Same thing, you can add classes here. Okay? Other questions? No? Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.